One of the deadliest tragedies in American history has now turned into a bitter legal battle. Outrageous, horrible, crazy, insensitive. Those are just a few words the victims and the families of victims in the Las Vegas mass shooting used to describe lawsuits being brought against them by MGM Resorts. Brian Ehlers fought back tears, talking about the moments he tried to save his wife as bullets rained down upon them. And he expressed anger at the fact the resort company has now filed not one but two lawsuits against more than 1,000 victims of this tragedy, all in an effort to shield the company from being responsible for the shooting. Here's what he had to say.
She yells, "Hannah," and I look to my left, and that's when I saw my wife laying flat on her back. I put my hand over her face in an attempt to save her life or whatever I was trying to do, but she was gone. Hannah was a stay-home mom. She was very much involved in the kids' lives. She was the person that just made it all happen. Our house was the house that everybody came to, like she wanted to entertain. She wanted the kids at our place, and she knew all the local kids. She knew their parents. I did not. I'm working. That's one of the struggles today, is trying to, keep everything together. My wife was the glue. She was what made it happen. They say people died twice. Once when they first die, and then again when you stop talking about them. I post pictures about my wife every day on social media. We talk about her all the time. We celebrate her and love her very much and miss her. I was recently informed by some friends that I was being sued by MGM. I mean, I'm going through all this and still going through this, and to find out that this huge company, MGM Resorts, is suing me. I mean, how do you deal with that? And how I don't know what else to say.
What is up with that? Let's talk about it with criminal defense expert and former prosecutor Bob Bianchi. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Carol.
This Vegas shooter, he managed to get an arsenal into MGM. He managed to take it to the 32nd floor. He managed to kill 58 people from the resort's window. Why does MGM think it's not at fault for this in any way?
And not to mention, Carol, that there apparently were previous security lapses at the MGM, which I'm sure that these people will bring out. But they're relying on this thing called the Safety Act. But let's get everybody's calling it that, but let's understand the full name. Fostering Effective Technology Act of 2002. It's an obscure law that has never been tested in the courts, and it essentially was saying that if you start with effective technologies or security or manufacturing of things that help against terrorism and they fail, well, then you are protected from being sued. What MGM is trying to do is shoehorn the facts of this case into the law of 2002 by saying that we had a security company that was certified by the Department of Homeland Security, and therefore, since we hired them, we should be able to file an action to prevent anyone from filing suit against us. It's despicable. It's heinous. As a lawyer, even if you thought you could have a potential legal argument here, if you came to me and asked me to do that, I'd say thank you, go to the next attorney. It's outrageous.
But here's the thing, Bob. For them to successfully file this kind of lawsuit, this crime has to be deemed terrorism, right? Because the Security Act is under Homeland Security. It's not been deemed terrorism, as far as I can tell. So how do they have a legal leg to stand on, MGM?
That's a great question, Carol. They're actually asking, since Homeland Security has not declared it an act of terrorism, which is an essential element of this particular statute to protect them, that they're going to ask the judge to declare it an act of terrorism, but that's not what this statute says. And while we're on the note that you just raised, that's the first roadblock that MGM will face. Also, it doesn't necessarily cover third-party vendors. It may cover the vendor who actually provided the security, but not necessarily MGM. And also, in addition to that, there's also security that MGM provided that's outside of the security company that was certified by the Department of Homeland Security. So while the company from Homeland Security may be protected, it doesn't exonerate MGM for their lack of security and their failures to have protocol. So on many levels, that's why it's a unique and novel suit. And even their attorney says they realize it's a unique and novel suit. So why would you, on a novel case with a pure statute like this, decide this is the one where you're going to try to prevent these poor people from receiving fair compensation for their failure to protect them?
Bob Bianchi, many thanks. I want to take you live.